Hi everyone, today in this video I'm going to tell you about what gunshot residue is. So gunshot residue can be defined as any unburnt or burnt, non-volatile, organic or inorganic particle that is released from a firearm after shooting. Now, this is also known as cartridge case residue or firearm discharge residue. Now GSR is released due to certain factors, like due to the burning of powder, or due to rubbing of the bullet with the barrel, or due to explosion of the primer compounds. Now these particles may be visible or invisible. This depends upon various factors. The location and finding the location, identifying them, testing of gunshot residue can provide very useful information in order to know whether the suspect is the shooter or not, and its absence also can nullify that whether a person is shooter or not. But there is yet another possibility that the shooter might be wearing gloves, so that is why GSR didn't come onto his hands. But still, whenever found on somebody's hands, then it tells us that that person is the shooter. Now I'll be discussing with you the source of GSR. Where can GSR be found? So the first source can be on the hand. In majority of the cases, GSR is found on the hands of the person. Now where on the hands? This area is known as the web. So the GSR is generally found on this area or this area, and similarly on this and this area of the hand. This is known as the web region of the hand. Other than the hands, they can also be found on the arms, hair, face, thumb, etc., or on the fingers like the trigger finger. It can also be found on these places of the shooter. Now second comes clothes. They can be found on the clothes of the victim, if the victim is a human, because the bullet would strike into the body of the victim and a hole will be formed, and around that hole we can find the GSR. So clothes of victim and also of the shooter. At the time of firing, there is a possibility that the GSR fell out on the clothes of the shooter, or also it's possible that the shooter might have touched his clothes after shooting, so they could have transferred from the hands of the shooter onto the clothes. So here is the thing. Then comes intermediate targets. Intermediate targets. There might be some targets in between the main target and the shooter, and there is a possibility that the GSR might get deposited on them. Fourth comes at the crime scene. If the bullet strike the wall or the glass or any other object like table present in the crime scene, then GSR might have deposited on that, so they also must be checked. Also the floor of the crime scene should also be looked for GSR. So like walls, doors, window, floor. Next comes inside the barrel or outside the barrel and the cartridge case. Now since the bullet has traveled all along the barrel, so there is a possibility of finding it inside or outside the barrel. Also they can be found on the cartridge case of the firearm. Last but not the least, the fired projectile itself. So the bullet or the pellet, whatever that has been fired, might also contain the GSR, so they should be properly checked and examined. Now presence of GSR on these places can be of significant help in identifying the culprit, and also what kind of bullet has been used, what kind of firearm has been used. Now comes collection of GSR. So there are different kinds of method by which we can collect GSR, one of which is dry collection. Now in this, cellophane sheet method can be used. In this method, a cellophane sheet is taken and it is impregnated with acetic acid. Then it is pressed over the site where the GSR is present, and after that the cellophane sheet is picked up and it is examined. Next comes adhesive tape. This is the most commonly used method for collection of GSR. This is so because this is very easy and economical. In this, adhesive tape of around 2 to 3 centimeters is taken. It has an acetate band over its end which helps us to hold it, and after that this tape is sticked over the point where GSR is present, and then it is peeled off quickly. Now at least 2 to 3 times this procedure should be repeated in order to be certain that the GSR has completely been removed from that place. Also, one must make sure to stretch the area so as to get every bit of the GSR from that place. Next is a solution of cellulose acetate is taken and it is poured over the site. Like for example, cellulose acetate is taken and it is poured over the hand. After that it dries after some time and we peel it off, and in that peel we get the residues of GSR. Also, GSR can be present on the barrel of the firearm, so it can be extracted by pouring hot distilled water inside the barrel, and the GSR will come out in that hot distilled water solution. Next comes washing of hands. So basically in this method a kit is used, and that kit contains a clean bottle of 50 ml 5% HNO3, 5% nitric acid, plus a clean plastic bag. Now this bag is opened and this bottle is emptied into this bag. After that the person's hand is dipped into this bag and proper washing is done for around 4 to 5 minutes until we think that all the residues have come into this solution. After that the solution is analyzed. There's one limitation of this method, that we cannot determine which portion of the hand actually had the residue, because the entire hand is dipped at once. Then is collection of organic residues. In this, swabbing method can be adopted. In swabbing we take a cotton or a clean cloth which is moistened with organic solvents like acetone, alcohol, ether, and then it is swabbed over the surface until all the GSR comes onto that cotton swab. So this was a swabbing method. Then there is a vacuum lifting method. In this method is basically for collecting from the GSR from the cloth. In this, the GSR gets deposited on the filtered dust of the vacuum apparatus, and then it is extracted using a solvent. Now these are all the type of collection methods that are used for collecting GSR. Also in some cases GSR might not be easily visible with our eyes, so what we do, for example, this can happen in cases like when there is lack of color contrast, or when a lot of blood is present onto the sample. So in these cases we can use IR, infrared imaging. We take a photograph, IR photograph, and that with the help of that we'll be able to see things that we were not normally able to see with our eyes. So that's all for today. Please like the video if you liked it and share it with your friends. Thank you.